Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Welcome to the deep dive. If you've been tracking the global race in artificial intelligence, you know the field's been, well, dominated by just a few big names. But what if Europe just stepped into the ring with a serious new challenger, one that could potentially change the game?
That's exactly what we're digging into today. Our sources are buzzing about the launch of Magistral. It's a new AI reasoning model from the French startup Mistral AI. And people are calling it Europe's first really competitive reasoning model that's got some unique features that, could shake up the global AI landscape.
Okay, interesting. So let's unpack this. Our mission today, figure out what Magistral actually is, why it matters so much right now, and what its arrival means for AI's future. Especially, considering its European roots and this focus on transparency and handling multiple languages. We've got company announcements, industry analysis, even some early user reactions. So first things first, let's set the scene. Mistral AI, they're only 2 years old, right? French startup. They officially launched Magistral on Juneteenth. And like you said, this isn't just another AI tool. It's being framed as a first for Europe, positioning the continent as a real player in high-stakes AI development.
Exactly. And the context here is fascinating. Mistral isn't some small outfit. They're already valued at, $6.2 billion. They've got backing from tech heavyweights like Andreessen and Horowitz, and importantly, vocal support from French President Emmanuel Macron. This is bigger than just software. It's part of a larger strategic push, a push for Europe to secure its place in that global AI hierarchy, which has been so dominated by the U.S. and China.
Right. So less tech launch, more strategic move for kind of European AI sovereignty.
Precisely. It's about having their own foundational models, building local expertise, maybe aligning more with European values and regulations like GDPR, not just relying on tech from elsewhere.
Makes sense. Okay, so what is Magistral exactly? You mentioned it's not just one thing, there are two versions.
That's right, two distinct versions. First, there's Magistral Small. This one is open source under the Apache 2.0 license, very permissive. It runs on 24 billion parameters, so it's powerful but manageable. The community can inspect it, tweak it, build on it freely.
Okay, open source. That's significant. And the other one?
Then you have Magistral Medium, that's the enterprise version, aimed at companies needing, more power, more capability, and yes, that one's a paid commercial offering.
Got it. Now, you keep mentioning reasoning. That seems to be the key differentiator here. How is that different from what other big models do? What does reasoning actually mean for Magistral?
Yeah, that's really the core idea. See, many large language models are fantastic at pattern matching, generating fluent text, summarizing stuff they've seen. They sound smart. But reasoning, the way Magistral approaches it, is more about step-by-step logical problem solving. Think of it like working through a complex math problem. You identify the question, break it down, solve each part logically, show your work. Magistral uses these chain of thought techniques to do something similar.
Okay, so it's showing its work, essentially. And I gather this isn't just clever prompting. There's some unique tech under the hood.
That's right. The performance hinges on a novel training pipeline they developed. It's called reinforcement learning from verifiable rewards, or RLVR. It's paired with another technique, group relative policy optimization. Basically, the system gets rewarded when its intermediate reasoning steps are demonstrably correct. It learns how to think logically, step by step, with more accuracy.
RLVR, okay?
Yeah.
And how does that translate into performance? Do we have numbers?
We do. The benchmarks look pretty strong. Magistral Medium scored 73.6% on the AMY 2024 math problems, and that jumps to 90% if you use majority voting over multiple attempts. Shows consistency. Magistral Small is also impressive, scoring 70.7% and 83.3% respectively on those same tests. So, yeah, it's definitely competitive with other top reasoning models.
90% with voting, that's serious. But you also mentioned something about languages. That sounds like a big deal, too.
Oh, it's huge. This could be a game changer. Most reasoning models are heavily focused on English. Magistral supports reasoning in 8 languages right from the start: English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Arabic, Russian, and simplified Chinese. By building that in from the core, Mistral is aiming straight at markets and use cases that have been kind of left behind by the English-first approach.
8 languages, wow. And besides performance and languages, the sources keep bringing up transparency. Why is that so central here?
Transparency seems core to Mistral's philosophy. They've been very clear about wanting to reduce the black box problem in AI. Their models are designed so you can trace the reasoning process, understand how it got to an answer. This builds trust, which is crucial for adoption, especially in sensitive areas. Plus, it helps with debugging and improving the models. And importantly, it aligns with where regulations, particularly in Europe with the AI Act, are heading, demanding more explainability.
Right, that explainability factor. But it's not all smooth sailing, is it? Our sources mention some practical concerns, some trade-offs.
Yeah, there's a reality check here. Some early feedback, especially from developers, points to the high computational cost, particularly for the enterprise medium version. There was one comment, I think on Reddit, summing it up as something like 10 times the cost for maybe 10% better results, and usability taking a hit. It's a reminder that performance isn't everything. Cost, ease of use, developer experience, those things really matter for adoption in the real world. That trade-off will be interesting to watch.
That cost factor is definitely something to keep an eye on. But strategically, that decision to open source Magistral Small, that seems to be generating a lot of positive attention.
Absolutely. It's a smart strategic play. Anjana Meedha from Andreessen Horowitz, who's on Mistral's board, put it well. He said something like, big tech shifts often start proprietary, but businesses tend to move towards the advantages of open source eventually. And that really mirrors what we're seeing. Open source fosters collaboration, drives innovation faster, and builds trust in a way closed models sometimes struggle to.
So connecting the dots, this whole launch the tech, the open source, the European backing, feels like a significant step towards European AI autonomy.
I think so, yeah. Europe has often been seen as playing catch-up in AI compared to the US and China. But Magistral isn't just a research paper, it's a working competitive model. It shows Europe can build this stuff. And that multilingual strength could really help it gain ground in places where other models don't quite fit. It helps shift that narrative.
So bringing it all together, what's the big takeaway here? Mistral's Magistral really shows there's room for major innovation outside Silicon Valley. And that focus on openness, multilingual reasoning, transparency, it feels very aligned with where responsible AI development is trying to go.
Exactly. It's a step forward, not just for Mistral, but potentially for Europe's whole approach to AI. If Magistral succeeds widely, it could validate this path, emphasizing transparency, multiple languages, open source alternatives.
We'll definitely be watching how the community engages, how companies adopt it, and if Mistral can keep this momentum going. It's such a fast-moving field. For you, the listener, this deep dive hopefully gives a clear view of this new direction in AI reasoning and, real boost for the open source AI world.
And maybe something to think about. If AI gets better at reasoning and explaining itself, what new kinds of complex problems could we tackle? What does a world with more explainable multilingual AI actually look like for global collaboration and innovation? Food for thought.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.